Hello, I am here today with Heather Brims, and she has so graciously been willing to hop on today to chat and share her experience with working with me, because I know how scary it can be sometimes. And I always feel like I remember looking at who I wanted to work with and looking at testimonials and how helpful that was. So one, I just want to thank you so much for being here. It really, truly means a lot to me. And what I'm going to do is kind of ask Heather some questions that I just think would be helpful as part of this. So here we go. So first of all, if you want to share, what was it that you were really struggling with that led you to want to work with me?
So I'm in a position where I like to call myself like the baby entrepreneur. I'm just starting off. I've been doing this for about a year, but not doing it well. So my family, a couple of my family members kind of gave me like, you have to make this work or you need to move on. And so I have worked with other business coaches in the past. So I was really, really close to throwing in the towel and saying like, okay, so I tried, but this wasn't for me. And so I've kind of been I followed you and this other girl in a Facebook group. And so I was just kind of following. And once I got that ultimatum, I was like, okay, I have to pay a little bit more attention to Nas and see what's happening.
I love that. I love that so much, because it's always that like moment, right? We always have that moment that makes us go there. So let me ask you next, did you have any objections? And I know the answer to this, so I'm excited to hear, but did you have any objections that almost kept you from wanting to work with me?
Huge, right? So you and I had been in the DMs for a while. And the first time that you pitched kind of like a group program, I was like, I can't afford that. No way. And I passed on it. And I went with a cheaper program and a different coach. And she did some great stuff for my mindset. I will throw that to her, but I didn't really have any of the tangibles. So I walked away after investing what to me was still a really big amount of money. And I got nothing tangible out of it. So I was left really disappointed. And it was actually, that was the second business coach I worked with that had failed me. So then I was even more hesitant to invest again, because now I've thrown thousands of dollars away and really not been moved forward that much. And so I was following you a little more closely, and then I got this ultimatum. And so I was kind of sitting with myself and I'm like, okay, so how much would it be worth for you to be able to actually do the business you've been dreaming of for the last 5 years?
Oh my gosh.
And so my biggest objection was financial, because I was like, how the heck am I going to pay for this? And so I remember I was walking with my daughter outside and she was riding her bike. And I was like, I'm going to hop in the DMs with Nas and just get super real. And either she's going to answer my questions and she's going to show up to be the person I've been waiting for, or I'm going to pass on this and I'm going to go back to education. And, I truly believe that nothing ever happens by accident. So I was like, okay, I'm going to hop in the DMs and be tough on Nas. I was like, okay, I'm going to ask her the hard questions, really put her on the spot and be like, this isn't working for me. How is your business going to show up differently for me than these other two business coaches that I've already thrown this money away on? And so I feel like in the DMs where I was really able to connect with you and ask those questions specifically about what I had experienced with my previous business coaches and what wasn't working, you were able to turn all of that stuff on its ear and be like, let me tell you, I'm going to give you those tangibles. I'm going to give you the strategy. I'm not just a coach who's going to ask you questions. I'm going to give you the system. And so something I think that was really important for me that I learned is that nobody can do what I do better than me, right? This is my unique thing that I'm awesome at. But my background is not in marketing. My background is not in running a business. So now I've come to share my awesomeness with the world, but I don't have that strategy. So I think it's really important to know what you don't know and then go out and get that education. So my biggest objection was financial, but in jumping in with you in the DMs, I was able to see how, even though that was a huge hurdle for me, I could make it work.
I love that. And then I think that's a big thing that you and I even chatted about, where when you were like, well, I've worked with business coaches, and I was like, well, I'm not a business coach, so that's cool. I'm a business strategist. And I think that's a key differentiator. I remember you and I having that conversation about where a business coach has its place and they're really valuable in like mindset and really helping you with like getting to the root of things. But business strategists, I actually give you step by step how to get to the place you want to get to. So
100%.
Yeah, I remember us having that chat and I was like, that's why I love it, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand the difference. So thank you
Yes.
for sharing that. So tell me, with that, why did you choose to ultimately work with me?
So one of the things, I like your vibe. I feel like we have a similar energy, and our values are aligned. So my highest value is on family. That's why I'm a mom coach. And I work with families to kind of just make your family feel yummy, right? And so when I was working with other business coaches, both of my other business coaches didn't have kids.
Okay.
As I was talking to them about like this feeling and this desire and trying to connect with them very authentically about what I'm passionate about, they were like happy for me, but they couldn't make that connection.
Yeah.
The big piece of it. The other piece of it was, you're different than what's out there. So a lot of things that are out there is, I can tell you one of the biggest things for me is a mindset thing is, I was so worried about being guarded and not giving away too much value in my Facebook group and that kind of a thing. And I will never forget when you were like, that's not a thing. You cannot give too much value to your people, right? Because if this is what you're an expert in, you can always go deeper. And I was like, I can always go deeper. You're right. There's always something else I can teach you. And so for me, that just was such a freeing thing that I was like, oh my gosh, I can show up so much more authentically for my people in my group.
Yeah.
I can give so much more. And my favorite thing about you, to be completely honest, and what fell flat for me from other things, is that you very strongly are focused on service first.
Yeah.
And when you, every single thing, when I look back, every single thing that's worked for me in my business is when you have that service first mentality. And
Yep.
so for me, that just really helped me align with you, because I was like, okay, so I really can come from a place of just wanting to help people and make money. Okay, that's what I want to do.
That's actually the magic sauce. Like I tell people all the time, that's the magic ingredient. When we focus on impact, the money always follows. It's just a matter of aligning the pieces together to make that happen. So I'm so excited, because that's like, if I could teach one thing in the world, it would be lead with that impact, lead with that service, because that will lead to the profit, the legacy that you want to create, all the incredible things we strive for. But when we focus on profit before impact, that's when things go down. So tell me, and we're still currently working together, so I know this is a work in progress, but tell me, how am I currently helping you solve your problems?
So I think it's really the homework that we're getting, right? So like the trainings that we're getting and those workbooks and the supplements materials are really getting into the nitty gritty of how you design your business. So it's not about, what do you offer your clients? What's their ideal? It's not all of those kind of very surface based
Yeah.
questions and like getting clear on who you're serving. It's deeper than that. It's okay. So you need to have this, this, and this in place for your business. This is your overarching framework. Okay, great. You have that in place. Now here's the steps to break it down. And we do this, this, and this. And so what I've needed all of this time, guys, I've been trying to do this for the last 5 years full time. Okay. Or excuse me, the last 5 years full time just this year. And it's just been failing. And now I know why. And so having all of these pieces together is just huge, because for the first time I can see it. I can see how it's actually going to work. And so I'm pumped, and I'm able to pop in when I watch these awesome trainings and these things I'm supposed to get like put together. And then I'm like, okay, Naz, I'm super overwhelmed. I know I have to do this. I don't know how to do this. And then you hold my hand through that process and you kind of work on that mindset shift. And I have to say, guys, for the coaches I've worked with, and I know a ton of coaches, Naz gives you the quickest mindset shift, really, truly. It's like this. You listen to her message and you're like, oh, all right, well, I'm cool now. Let me get back to work. It's so fast.
I love
The other thing is, I would be remiss if I didn't add this. So I remember it was nighttime, everybody was sleeping, and I was like, I have to Voxer Nas immediately, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay you the next installment of my payment plan. You're giving me all the good things, and I love this, but I don't know how the heck I'm going to pay you, because prior to working with you, literally my bills were 8 times the amount I was
it.
bringing in. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Okay. So I'm like, okay, so this is great. I'm developing this program. We're going to work together for this 3-month time frame. I need money now though to like pay you and my bills. So what do I do?
Yeah.
And so she so very calmly responded, oh, we're just going to do a cash injection for your business then. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. Tell me what you already have put together. We're going to put it together like this. And I was like, she is so calm about money. I can't wait till I'm at that point, right? Because for me, I'm still like the baby entrepreneur and figuring this out. So just the concept that you can be working on this super awesome, bigger program, higher ticket thing, but
Yeah.
you still can do these little things to support yourself in the meantime. That in itself was just such a huge revelation to me because I was like, oh my God, I can do this like 10 times while I'm working with her. I don't
Yeah.
have to sweat paying these payments. It's going to be done. We're going to do these little things. Then I'm going to launch this awesome program. And then I'm not going to have to, worry about that for a while. So
Exactly.
that was a huge, huge, huge piece for me because whenever I brought up like, I don't know how I'm going to pay you to the other coaches, they're like, well, you got to figure it out. I remember back to when I asked my credit card company to up my limit. I went to my,
Oh no.
they would give you different ways to get money
Yeah.
from other places, but it was never, here's how you support yourself.
Yeah.
And so it also takes that awkwardness out of like going to somebody hat in hand saying, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then coming back to you and being like, well, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. And so that to me has been huge. Absolutely
That.
huge.
And I think that that's such an important thing is that we all have long-term and short-term goals. And it's not that we can only have one. We can have it all, right? We can have them all. So I'm so excited about that. So tell me right now with where we're at, what results are you feeling the most excited about? And that you may have already answered some of those, but is there anything like, it might be your clarity or something like that. What are you feeling really good about so far that we've accomplished?
So the cash injection that we came up with was the remote learning rescue system. And so it was something that was really easy for me to put together. So I feel like just in putting together that package was a huge win for me because I got to see how easy it really is to put together programs. So that was part of it, is that clarity around how it really can be easy. And then you walked me through what's important about the beta testing process. And so I pushed the program out to a couple of ladies, and I had one woman call me today in tears, Naz.
Oh,
It was like, it was the best feeling ever. She was like, Heather, I get it. I understand now why it wasn't working before. And
oh,
so I know I have said that to you a bunch of times. So the
yeah,
fact that I did that for somebody else, huge, huge. And
totally.
so she went from hiding in her office literally and like locking the door to do her work to sitting right at the table with her daughter while they're doing schoolwork and loving it. And so for me, just that feeling of like, this gets to be easy, this works, and now I can see the path. Like that's like my biggest thing. So now I can have faith in myself and in what I'm going to be designing in the future because I can see it. So that clarity to me is just so huge. And that phone call is probably
Uh,
best I have felt all year.
Oh my gosh. And that's that thing, right? Like when we feel confident in the path that we're going on, it changes the game. It totally makes it like we had blinders on and all of a sudden we can see clearly and we can see everything we were meant for. And then all the things fall into place, like those beautiful moments where people are recognizing our value and we realize why we were put on this earth for. So, I love that.
And I'll share one more thing. So I think my biggest win throughout this whole program is my stepfather, who we're super, super close. I call him dad. He's like, he basically raised me. Um, he is an accountant. That's his job,
Okay.
right? So he's super money focused. And he had taken me aside. He was like, listen, I can't keep helping you pay your bills. This business thing, we've given it time. I think you're great, but this isn't working. So
Uh,
you have until the end of this year, and then you need to start applying for jobs in education. And so when I was able to go to him and literally show him the trainings I came up with and this system and this program, and I was able to say, hey, the person I'm working with now is not this abstract person who's doing just the mindset work. She's somebody who's digging in and giving me a system so that I can put my genius into this system that's going to make it work, right? And I was able to show him all that. He gave me a big hug and he's like, I'm so proud of you. I can see it too. Now, when I
well,
first told you about this, I got all teary-eyed. I had to sit in
yeah.
my chair for like 5 minutes. I was crying. But it's like, that is what you can expect if you work with Nas, people, is no matter what your objection is, no matter what you're concerned about, she's going to have an answer for you because she's not just somebody who's going to help you with your mindset. She's somebody she comes from marketing. She knows how to make things sell. And she teaches you all the secrets that are behind the scenes that you have to set up for your business. So you're going to be able to stop feeling busy all the time. You're going to be able to make your actions actually have impact and meaning. You're not going to be wasting your time on fluff and silliness. You're going to be getting down to the nitty gritty. Okay, if I want my business to work, if I want it to sell, these are the steps that I take, and this is why. And so she literally walks you through making sure that people care about what you have to offer, all the way through to this is how you make them beg you to just pitch already. Just give me what you're giving me, right? And so whatever objection you have, I promise you, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. If you want to be in business, hire this girl.
Oh my gosh. This is like, I can't even, I'm speechless. Thank you. I appreciate that. It means the world. So my last question is, and you might have again already answered it, why should people work with me?
So I think the biggest thing is with you is what you see is what you get. So if you follow Naz in her group, the way that she shows up in lives is the way that she shows up for you. So what you get out of working with her is that one-to-one, how do I apply it to me? So there's tons of value added in her group that if you look through the units and stuff, the stuff she gives away for free, I would pay for. Okay. So when you actually get to work with her one-on-one and say, okay, so you have this really great idea. So like something that I haven't touched on and I want to go into is so much of coaching and service-based industry is focused on gearing towards the corporate world.
Yeah.
For me, something that was falling flat was I work with families. So I didn't feel comfortable going to a mom and being like, pay me $2,000 for my program.
Right.
Because I feel like as moms, many of us would pay anything we could for our kids and our family, right? We do anything we could. And so for me, something that nobody ever really helped me with was that concept of you can find a way to help everyone. And so the concept that has really been a huge mindset shift for me is I can help people for what I like to say from free to me.
Mm-hmm.
The level that they can invest in is the level of help that they get. So when I'm not working in something that like so many of us are in that corporate space, Naz can help you whether you're in that corporate space or not. And so when you are working with her one-on-one, she can give you that very detailed, this is how you do it for your business. And so that has been what's moved me forward. Like my revenue has changed, my mindset has changed, the way I do my Facebook group has changed, the way people interact with me has changed. And guys, the way it feels has changed. It doesn't feel like this uphill battle of I'm going to make this work somehow. Like it's not swimming upstream. It doesn't have to be. It can be simple.
Right? Heck yeah. That's like what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Heather. It means the world to me. And for all of you guys who are watching, Heather actually is working with me inside one of my group programs, and it's just been incredible, and we're just getting started. So I want to thank you again. This means the world to me, and I really appreciate you sharing your honest words and feedback, because I know it can be helpful for the next person trying to make a decision about what to do in their business. So again, thank you so much for sharing all of this with me and for everyone else watching.
You are so welcome. And I just want to put a little caveat in here. I asked Naz if I could do this for her because I was like, I want other women to experience working with you, because I feel like so many of us feel a little bit stuck and a little bit trapped. So I was like, hey, let me hop on and tell people how awesome you are, because I want more people to have that opportunity. So I am thrilled to death that I made that leap and that we're working together.
Me too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. You have a fabulous day, and I'm sure we'll chat soon.
You too.